Hi, everyone. My name is Jafar, Azam, dev role at Composable Finance, Picasso. Just want to thank the organizers for setting this up, Equilibrium, Talisman, the sponsors as well, Funky. Thank you all for setting this up. I hope we can do more of these in the ecosystem. So today I'm going to be talking about one of the most recent milestones we have accomplished at Composable, and this is connecting Polkadot with Kusama. So for those of you who don't know, Composable has a parachain on Polkadot, which is called Composable, and we have Picasso on Kusama. So I'll give a quick intro into sort of what our mission is. Essentially, our goal is to build interoperable infrastructure to support cross-chain messaging and communication extending beyond Polkadot and Kusama themselves. So this would be Kusama parachains, Polkadot parachains communicating with other ecosystems in a trustless manner. So how we're doing that is we are building IBC-based bridging protocols to other ecosystems, and we are building a cross-chain orchestration layer on top of this to build a more composability future. So I guess you might be thinking how we're different from other bridge projects. So Composable is mainly using IBC for bridging, solely using IBC, I guess. But within the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, we do use XCM. XCM is definitely one of the most trustless bridges out there, trust minimized, whatever you want to say. But we have identified IBC as this trustless transport protocol to connect different blockchains. I'll dive more into that in the next slides. So where we are right now, essentially Polkadot is in a space where we have 80 plus parachains on both relay chains, over 150 projects building. However, there's still a lack of trustless bridges connecting different ecosystems. So you have a parachain on Polkadot and Kusama, yet you still cannot connect to Ethereum in a non-custodial manner. You want to connect to, even if you want to connect to like other L1s out there in the space, that's also something that we're trying to do. And then there's also a complicated onboarding and user experience. Slides kind of got rugged. Can you guys still see the slides? All right, there we go. So there's still a complicated onboarding and user experience after building these bridges. So I'm not talking about like the actual UI front side of things. I'm talking about once we have all these bridges live, they will be able to support cross-chain bridging. However, there's still no composability between them. So the cross-chain messaging protocol that we're building sort of allows users to build, swap, lend, and LP in one interface. So this would basically deter users away if they would have to do this manually again and again. So to actually reach mass adoption, we believe that composability is key. To the next slide. So this talk, I'm mainly talking about Centauri. So Centauri is we don't like to use the term bridge at Composable, but yeah, we sort of call it a transfer protocol. Essentially, why we think Centauri is necessary is bringing in more liquidity to .sama as a whole, onboarding users from other ecosystems. So we are tackling Cosmos first, and what we believe have a similar philosophy to Polkadot and Kusama. I mean, we're using IBC as well, which is their native transport protocol. And then in the app chain thesis, so in the future, we have all of these, app chains coming out, all of these roll-ups who are sort of taking note from Polkadot and Kusama's infrastructure of like different parachains, and they expect like a world with 1,000 different roll-ups, right? And there definitely needs to be a transport protocol to connect these different chains. And we believe IBC is that solution, especially since most of them are building with IBC in mind. So finally, speed and security. So security is definitely the reason why we are choosing IBC. IBC has been live for over 2 years right now. It's connecting 50 plus Cosmos chains. And there hasn't been any sort of vulnerability that has led to a loss of funds, similar to how, like, in contrast to how some of the bridges out there have led to over 2 billion in loss of funds. So we sort of realized that XCM can't really be extended to other chains, and we believe IBC is that solution. How this looks like. So essentially we have Composable in the middle. We have connecting it to other parachains, connecting it to near Cosmos. And this roadmap, by the way, is not in any particular order. It's simply some L1s that we plan to tackle along the way. So regarding the actual infrastructure and architecture of IBC, I'll get into that after this one. So where we are right now with Centauri, what you guys can do, KSM.transfers are live. So if you want to use KSM on your Polkadot parachain or even your Kusama parachain's native token, if you want to bridge it to your Polkadot parachain, and then vice versa, if you want to bridge dots to your Kusama parachain or other tokens from the Polkadot ecosystem to your parachain, you can use Centauri to do that right now. We're currently onboarding parachains in both ecosystems to connect them. So what this looks like is just opening XCM channels and adding them to Centauri's front ends. The Kusama and Cosmos connection is in testnet. So I don't want to undermine sort of how far we've come with this progression. We have over 100 validators live on the testnet, and we're looking to go live next month. Don't quote me on that, but I'm saying next month. This would allow you to sort of bridge Atom, Osmo, or vice versa, dot KSM to the Cosmos ecosystem. So right now, you know, a lot of the bridging in the Cosmos ecosystem is powered by Axelar. Axelar is sort of a centralized bridge. However, we're trying to use IBC and create more decentralized connections. So the DOT and KSM in the Cosmos ecosystem, we're looking to sort of flip it to IBC dots, IBC KSM, USDT from statement, and more. So Ethereum and NEAR, they're sort of in research and development stages. I don't want to go too much into detail on those two. And finally, the question mark, that's basically a question to all of you guys out there. As a Sama fan, as a Sama user, which ecosystem you'd like to bridge towards via IBC. We're happy to accommodate this for you guys, especially if it's something that makes sense. The sort of order that we're going with right now is what made some sense to us as well. Ethereum is definitely something we're prioritizing, especially since there isn't ETH 2.0 is out. So as I said, Centauri is live. If you just go to app.trustless.zone, you can connect your wallet and simply bridge DOT and KSM between the two relay chains. All right, so I don't want to go too deep into how IBC works. I don't have enough time for that. If you guys are interested, please hop into our Discord or Telegram. Happy to go over it with you. We do have AMAs where we cover this as well, but we could definitely do a workshop if this is something you're interested in. The way IBC works is essentially there's just light clients on two chains and a relay in the middle responsible for making sure packets are sent between these two ecosystems. So I'll sort of base it on, so we have Palette IBC. This is the first non-Cosmos IBC stack. This has sort of allowed us to establish IBC on our parachains. We have IBCRS, so we're actually the first chain to use implementation of IBC in Rust, because I think almost all of the Cosmos chains are written in Go. So we've had to sort of build that as well. And then there's Hyperspace. So Hyperspace is an IBC relayer. Essentially, none of the current relayers could support parachain connections, and we've had to build our own IBC relayer to connect parachains with Cosmos chains and beyond. So Grandpa, we're using the Grandpa Lite client based on the Grandpa protocol. We have already developed a Beefy Lite client, but it's not ready yet. When Beefy. So now that IBC is live on Picasso, I've sort of gone into what you could do as a parachain team, connecting different chains from both relay chains. This is sort of the first step. And this is something we've focused on in the past week and in the next 2 weeks, because we plan to go live with our Cosmos connection next month. So we're trying to get these integrations ongoing and completed before we connect to Cosmos, so that you guys can have Atom, other assets on your chains if interested, and then vice versa, of course. So as a user, what you can do right now with Centauri, so essentially Pablo is our DEX on Picasso. You could just use Centauri to bridge your DOT or KSM, and we have LP staking rewards live as of the first day of this week. So if you're a DOT holder, you're a KSM holder, you can simply go LP your tokens. This is actually the first KSM DOT pool on a decentralized exchange. So excited to see that. And of course, with more connections going live, we're looking at setting up pools like Atom DOT, Atom KSM, Atom Pika. So if you guys are interested, you can check it out on app.pablo.finance. Finally, this is one of the major components that we are building to align with our vision of a superior user experience. So IBC, like I mentioned, has only been used within the Cosmos ecosystem. It's only been designed to work on Tendermint chains. So we are the first substrate-based chain / the first non-Cosmos chain to use IBC. It's taken us over a year to get here. It's taken us a long time to get here. But yeah, we're finally here, and we hope to see it go live. So this Explorer will basically cover your IBC activity on Kusama and Cosmos. So the existing Explorers on Cosmos, like MintScan, wouldn't be able to support substrate chains. So we sort of had to build our own Explorer where you can see sort of the transaction happening on the Kusama side, relay accepting and updating the client, and then also on the Cosmos side. So let's say you have KSM that you want to bridge to Osmosis, for example, you'd be able to see that and the relay status and all. So this is something that we published an RFP for, and we are working with a specific developer to build this. And I think that comes to an end. Thank you all for having us, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, feel free.
There is actually one question, and I just want to say exceedingly excited about all that you're doing, Jafar. I get to see it behind the scenes as one of the Lucky Friday team members and being in those channels. So, but the question came from the audience member, and I know this probably don't have enough time for an explanation, but what's the difference between IBC bridging versus EVM WASM bridging? And so, and why did Composable choose that? Now that's a two-pronged question, but if you want to just give a 10-second answer, but again, I would invite D-Wolf to join us in the Composable Discord. You can get these kinds of answers. They do Twitter spaces. I've listened in on a number of them where they talk about this cross ecosystem architecture.
Yeah, so I mean, in all honesty, I don't really know what he means by EVM WASM bridging. Maybe it's like a name for a bridge out there, but I haven't heard of it. The way IBC works, you'd have to join our Discord, sir, and we can definitely answer that for you in more detail. And also a shout out to you for getting involved with the Centauri testnet. And if there are any other validator teams listening and you'd like to validate for Centauri, join in our Discord and let any of the community managers know.
Yes. Thanks so much, everybody. And we're going to transition to our next room to hear from Alex and Equilibrium.
Ciao.